Hello, Homeworthy. My name is Leta Austin Foster, and I want to welcome you to my shop and home here in Palm Beach, Florida. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hello, I'm Leta Austin Foster. Welcome to my home and shop in Palm Beach, Florida. We ended up in this space because this is our shop, because I needed a shop that was accessible to Palm Beach, that people walking by could see it and come in and buy things that go along with decor. And funnily enough, although our basic push is for linens and towels and things like that, when you have a linen company, the great linen companies of Europe also have children's clothes. So our shop has children's clothes, linens, china, everything that you could see, like setting up here at a table. I'm sitting at a table with some of our own linens and some of our own china. Bought this building, which was built in 1917. When we bought this building, it involved redoing the entire building because it was condemned. And the building is on the National Register, so we wanted to take it back to what it was. We're here in the Via Meisner, and so this building, which ironically enough, used to be a hotel for bachelors, was redesigned for the bottom floor to be the shop, the second floor of the building to be our office where we do our design work and plan new things for the shop, and the third floor of this building is an apartment where I and my husband live. So the whole building is reused, and that's something I happen to believe in very strongly, the reuse of old buildings with new use, but keeping the building as much as possible the way it was in the beginning. Welcome to my living room. You're in my apartment, which is the top floor of the building, but up here in my living room, it's not so messy. So we converted this. As I said, this was a hotel for bachelors. So this room, which had only an 8-foot ceiling, was this was 6 little bedrooms with a bathroom at either end. Now the bathroom now is the elevator, and the elevator only comes to this floor. So when you come in, you're in my living room, and you can see that you're looking out to the roofs of the Via. I love this because it's very much like living in Europe. I sit out there every morning and have my coffee, and I either look down into the Via Parigi, or sometimes I turn around and look down into my own Via Meisner. I love this room. It's wallpapered. It's very French, country French in style. I collect things, so you're going to see a beautiful Dennis Hare painting, which I love. So I brought some things from my home when I sold it. Everywhere you look, you're going to see photographs. Photographs. Look here. Photographs of my life with my family, my children, my husband. This is my husband when he was only 6 months old. He's so cute. He's still very cute, watching his little TV. And over here, he has on his table a little teeny picture, just like his little teeny TV. He has a little teeny picture of his mother and me and his daughter. So that's that. Also, this table came not just from our home, but from his family home down on El Bravo. I think that's what adds that soul, the little teeny TV maybe. And then over here is a picture of him when he was in boarding school, and a picture of my beloved granddaughter, who is now teaching a class once a week at Stanford while she gets her master's. So I think that's what adds soul to the room. Books, beautiful little things that I love. This is a wonderful little piece of Meissen porcelain. Isn't he sweet? I love him. He's actually a bad creature, but I like him. He goes there. And this is Meissen 2. This was a little 18th century inkwell, and it would have held a quill. I don't have the quill anymore. It would probably long gone, but it's a monkey. Monkeys were a very common decorative thing in the 18th century. And then this Ed sold, because this is from his father's family. Isn't it pretty? Guess what it was? It was for cigarettes. Nobody smokes anymore, so we just use it to be beautiful. And that's what all three of these books were. And then we have things that, books, because I love books, and these are books. This is a book written by a friend of mine, Fernando Wong, and Tim Johnson. So I have that there. And this is a book written by Jane Churchill, whom I like very much, but it's about my aunt, Nancy Lancaster. So that's kind of nice for me. I think that does add soul. I love pillows. Pillows make a couch comfortable. I'm very prone to come lie on this sofa, and I want all those pillows when I do, because I put them behind me to read. They're soft, they're all, like I said, down. I love that. This is Rosa Bernal, a Spanish company. She makes beautiful printed fabrics. This is a fabric that we had done and appliqued. Guess who's vain and proud? Leta Austin Foster. And then I just put them there. And when I want to lie down, I can lie on top of all those pillows. It feels good. These curtains, which I love, are made from a fabric from Pierre Frey. Pierre Frey is a French company. Patrick Frey is the son of Pierre Frey, and young Pierre Frey is the grandson of Pierre Frey. I like family companies, Leta Austin Foster and daughters, Pierre Frey. We quilted these curtains because quilted curtains are really beautiful at holding down sound, and they make a thick, beautiful curtain. I line all my curtains with ticking because I don't like to see white lining. It looks like you put sheets in your windows, not a good look. And then under the curtains, I have bamboo shades because this window faces directly to the east, so it gets intense morning sun. Fortunately, in this room, the windows to the west are very small, so I don't have to curtain them. I curtain over here because this is my dining area, and I keep the blinds down because blinds, not only do they moderate light, but they keep it cool. And so I have the curtains again, really just because it looks pretty here. We don't ever close these particular curtains, but they're beautiful. Basically, the pieces in this room are French, except for these chairs, which are Swedish. But it's interesting to know that all design comes out of Italy and moves up through France and then moves out to Scandinavia and also to England. So you get these French influences on Scandinavian furniture. Now we're going to walk into my kitchen part of my living room, which is right here. This, because it's an apartment and not terribly big, and because I want to be with my husband in the evening when I prepare food, we have the kitchen as part of the living room. But I did not want to have it ugly where the stove was, so we built a European-looking fireplace. That's a fake, but it holds the fans and the chimneys for the stove. Because it's my own building, I was allowed to put in my own stove, which is a gas stove. I love to cook, and I like to cook on gas. But everything is so concentrated in here. I have my sink, I have my dishwasher, I have my refrigerator and freezer drawers, because these are freezers. This is the one I would probably not have done, but the architect told me to. I probably would have done all drawers if I could have. These drawers are made by Sub-Zero, and I love the fact that you can use them and not look at them. Funnily enough, the architect, whom I adored, said, why don't we put the big refrigerator right there? And I said, absolutely not. And have that be what you see when you first come in the door? I don't think so. So we put the stove instead, and we put all these pretty Portuguese tiles. You know, Portugal is the home of beautiful tiles. So here they are in sepia. And we painted the shelves and the things bright yellow, So this room is gay and jolly and fun. This room is important for you to see that this room used to be only 8 feet tall. That was pretty ugly. So I and the architect, we climbed up on the fire escape of the building over across Via Parigi, and we took pictures of our building so that then we could take the pictures and draw onto it, and using a scale, figure out how much we could go up. Now, we thought we could go up 18 feet. We actually only got to go up 16 feet, but that's okay because we still made it go up. And those are now, instead of being trusses, those are real beams holding out the walls of the building so that it doesn't implode on itself. I think that as designers, I do have a go-to tip for people. I think that what you should always think of when you're a decorator is that your design should incorporate the building in which you're working plus the client for whom you're working, so that the house in the end does not represent you, the designer, but represents the client who's going to live in that house. And so now I'm going to walk down this little teeny weeny hall and show you my primary bedroom. Welcome into my bedroom. Now you're in another room where we took the ceiling up to get it. Remember, it was 8 feet. That's the bottom of those beams. It would have been, it's actually below that. And the people who were the best help to me in this was Historic Preservation in Tallahassee. They taught me so many tricks about doing over an old building, and I'm a big believer in doing over old buildings. I had a great architect, and we were able to make this tall room with French pieces, French pieces, French pieces, and I happen to like a half canopy bed. This room is too small to have had a full canopy bed. It would have made the room look small. So we used a half canopy bed, and I happen to love smocking, so I smocked the top of my pelmet. And then soul again, I have all my family that I look at every night and every morning. There's a telephone that sits there too, but my daughter has obviously moved it because she doesn't think a telephone is very good. I happen to love it. My family, the only people who have that number, so they can call me in the middle of the night. I designed this wallpaper. It's called Foster Stripe. And actually, it's a wonderful thing because Foster Stripe got me one of my best clients who I had said I was going to, I'd never met him. He was head of a very influential large corporation. And I said, I'm going to take you to a showroom that I think you'll like. What I was really doing was taking him to a showroom where I knew they knew me and would be very respectful of me. And so I said, there's going to be a striped paper there that you're just going to love. It's going to be exactly what you want. And I said, I want to show him, this is what I told the people at the showroom, I want to show him that wonderful stripe you made that is picoed on the edge. And they go, oh, we discontinued that. I said, what? Well, you can't. You put it back right now. And he turned to me and said, are they really going to do it? I said, yes. And they did. And they said, we brought it back and we renamed it, and it's now called Foster Stripe. And here you're seeing Foster Stripe. I love it, and it got me a very nice client. And now I'm going to walk you down the hall and show you our other guest bedroom. But first, I'm going to introduce you to Argo. This is Argo number 7. Argo, siéntate. 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 He's very old. He's 15. He's a good boy. And he is a little deaf, just like my husband. So doesn't always answer. I wanted to show you this hall because this wallpaper, which I designed for Waterhouse, is called Les Jeux Orientaux, the Oriental Games. And you can see a boy in the swing, and a boy climbing up, and you see monkeys, you see everything. The reason I wanted to show you this is to show you that even a very traditional wallpaper looks wonderful with pictures. These are modern pictures that I happen to collect, and they just look good on wallpaper. What gives a home a soul is to have things that belong to the client. It's funny, but last night at dinner, we just happened the people with whom we were eating, and my husband and I just happened to be talking about a very beautiful home they'd been to, but they said that it felt rather much like a set ready for a photographer. That's not a house with a soul. The house should look like the person who lives in it. It should have a soul. It should incorporate things that that person loves. Do they have a dog? Let the dog be in the house. If it gets dog hair on it, who cares? You know, the house should be the soul itself of that person who lives there. And you can do that by having things that the person owns, having their favorite colors, having their favorite type of fabrics. Do they like curtains? Do they like soft upholstery? Do they like antiques? But it needs to be them and not just the designer. Now we're in the guest bedroom. And this was a tricky room because since, as I said, this is a mixed commercial and residential building, we are not allowed to touch this, which is the interior fire escape. So we worked around, and the architect said, well, we'll put in a twin bed and so we can have bedside tables. And I said, nobody sleeps in a twin bed. So we have a double bed here. And the way we solve the problems of having stuff on the side is we put up wall lamps and bookcases. And we also use very much the windowsills. When you live in an apartment like this, very European in style, you use every inch that you have. So again, I have my collections of things that I love, which are French, like this. I love this little chair. This little chair is very sweet. It's probably about 200 years old. It's very, very simple. And I covered it in a fabric that picks up from Les Jeux Orientaux out in the hall. This is a Scalamandre fabric, really whimsical and fun. And again, we have photographs because that's what makes a soul. My husband used to be a great bird shot. He doesn't shoot anymore. But so I have these wonderful 18th century feather pictures, and they make a fun look. This is an antique iron bed, and makes a nice, comfortable bed for a guest or two. And in this part of the bedroom, again, you're seeing things that reflect his love of game shooting at the time. These are wonderful 19th century prints. They're actually engravings, hand-colored engravings of partridge shooting and pheasant shooting. And over on this side, we have a wonderful family portrait by Gilbert Stuart. So I happen to love that. And then on it, again, to show soul, are pictures of his family and his very unusual shooting clothes. You will notice he's in turquoise shorts. But he was, as I said, a great bird shot. These are pictures of his children and of his stepchildren. He was always exceedingly close to my middle daughter, Sally. And this is a picture of Sally. This is his desk where he works. He comes here in the guest room and works. This is an old wallpaper. I put it up 30 years ago, but I like it. It's a block print, very subtle and removed. And that's the story of this part of the room. Good morning and welcome to my shop. This part where I'm standing is the section of my shop where it's linens. And that's an important thing for my business because the reason I started the shop was because I couldn't get the linens that I wanted. So many companies were going out of business and things. So I began making my own linens, which are made in Paris and in Florence, Italy, so that we could have things that would be perfect for my decor. For instance, I have these beautiful sheets, but then with them, I might have some porcelain flowers because that would have been a beautiful decor thing. So you're going to see in my shop different things, linens, things that people don't have anymore. They call these husbands. We have to have them specially made now. That's what I mean when I say the companies were going out of business. But people want husbands. They're what you sit in bed and read with your arms on. We have beautiful towels. We have beautiful beach towels. We have all kind of sheets. We have beautiful, beautiful monogramming. These are done in Paris by Noel in Paris. We are the Porto store for Southeast Florida. So these are Porto prints, and Porto prints, we represent Noel. We have beautiful things to make your bedroom beautiful. And we also have things to make you comfortable in your bedroom, which would be like bedroom slippers and things like that. We have things for you to enjoy with your morning coffee. We make these to match up to our beautiful sheets. So we have that. We have things for people who love the ocean. So these are sheets from Florence or embroidered in Florence. This is a beautiful look. It's important to know when you're thinking about linens that some things are made with hand-guided machine embroidery. Other things are made with hand embroidery. Guess what? There's a price difference. So I am going to show you, these are beautiful hand-guided machine embroidery from Paris. Nice down pillows. With having your own bathrobe to match your bedroom and to be comfortable so when you have your morning coffee, you can take off the chill. Over here we also make for people, for our beautiful linens, we make waste paper baskets and Kleenex boxes to go with them. So everything can be, you say, well, I want green in my bedroom. You can have green in your bedroom. You can have sheets and towels to match. Say, I want palm trees, have palm trees. This is Florida. So over here we have beautiful things that we show as accessories to go with our other things. Over here, we arrange our shop according to color. So here is a blue section, and we're showing blue things and more of the wedges that we like for reading in bed, and then more of the beautiful hand monograms from Paris so that you can see that. You will not see that anywhere else. We like that. We like to have things that nobody else has. We make our own pillows. We have pillows everywhere, upstairs, downstairs, in here. And here, I always show one of the things that I spot at 500 paces. I hate ugly waste paper baskets. So we always have beautiful waste paper baskets. But as see, I put them in our blue section. Vases to go by your bed so you can have flowers. How about a little pillow made of down that says, isn't this sweet? It says, Dorma bien, sleep well. Buena noches, sleep well. Good night, sleep well. I love this. It comes in pink, it comes in blue, it comes in white, it comes in whatever you want. Now we're in the department where we do table linens. A very sweet thing happened. This is a hand-embroidered tablecloth. It can be done in any size. But a really lovely man came in and ordered this. He actually bought one of these. It was there. See how that's the hand embroidery? If we could come up close, you can see how beautiful the stitching is on that. Those are wildflowers. And this is cut and draw work called hem stitching. See how it's at the edge? So pretty. Love things like that. We have beautiful table linens, mats, palm tree again. We have beautiful monograms. These monograms here, this is a hand embroidered monogram, and this is a hand embroidered monogram. And this is a hand-guided machine embroidered monogram. As I said, big difference in price. So I like to offer people the best and also the best array of prices. These are something we have made for us. Edward Schaefer, who runs the Isabel O'Neill School in New York, makes these for us. These are wooden, painted as chagrin wall table mats, and they're in various colors. They're felt on the back so they don't hurt your beautiful table, or if it's glass, they don't make a lot of noise. Look how pretty that black chagrin is with the neutral, and that's a hand-guided machine embroidery from Julian Mejia. Then over here, we have another one. More of that chagrin. It comes in any of these colors. Or we can come up with a color just for the person. I put it the green with my palm tree mug. Over here, I'm showing off, this is hand embroidery, coral, because Florida is an old coral reef. So I'm showing it with solid napkins or embroidered napkins. Over here is a company that we have bring in from Italy. It's called Basati, and it's one of our best-selling items are these tea towels with embroidery on them. And we have that one, an eggplant, called Melgrano, or fish. We have all kind of designs that we do from this company. We're low right now because they were so popular. We've sold about 60 in the last month. So it makes us a little low in inventory. But how about this one that says Sapore di Mare, the taste of the sea. It's a lobster. And although that is a tea towel, I recommend it as a napkin when you're eating lobster because you get butter everywhere, hence a bib. So, Sapore di Mare, lobster, or crab, same thing, get butter everywhere. So that's kind of fun. And we even do plain bibs from the same people. So in case you wanted to have fish, you probably wouldn't need a bib, but some people would. Over here, we're showing more tableware, China, my favorite company. This is Laboratorio Paravicini from Milan. And you say, oh, I really love that plate, but I wish it were brown. No problem, it will become brown. So that is what we do. This is Laboratorio Paravicini too. And this is Laboratorio Paravicini. And if you go onto the web, you can watch a painter painting these. These are hand painted, the little horses. The shelves are filled with Deruta, Moussier, Italian porcelain, everything you can think of. And then we also have this one, which is called Resorts. It's from the book, The Best Resorts by Cleveland Amory. And I think it's very funny. It's very humorous. It's more for fun times. Each one of these plates is hand painted, and each one is different. So every single plate is different. This is the plate. Notice the little dragonfly. Here's another one. You see, it's different. Same size, but different. And then here is a pasta or soup bowl. Again, different because it's all hand painted. Unfortunately, that means it's all trecher. But sometimes that's okay. Sometimes not. This is Astier de Villette, a company I love. It's from Paris. It's actually not white china. It's black basalt. Basalt, funnily enough, is in the crossword puzzle this morning because it said, what is made from hardened lava? And what is made from hardened lava is basalt. So Astier de Villette makes all their china out of basalt, and they glaze it white. And when they do, it comes out to this beautiful gray look, so that you have very lightweight, but very strong. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I love their little mug with their little handle. Their candlesticks, it's all the same. We also have antique china, because people bring us things all the time and say, can you sell this for me? Yes, we can. We do. So I like old things, as you can see. So all these shelves are filled with fun things. This is the Palio, which is a race that is held in Siena, Italy. And people run bareback, they ride bareback for their cortade. And each cortade has a different coat of arms, and they wear those in the silks on their clothes. So the china is made to go with those different cortades. It's an old race, it's a lot of fun, and maybe not for me, but it's a lot of fun to watch. Now we're in the writing paper department, and the reason I have the writing paper department with china is because oftentimes you're using writing paper to invite people over. One of the companies that I really love is Grosvenor. It's a writing paper company in London. Now look how pretty that is. And interestingly enough, the envelopes are the same way. So what you would do is you would write on that in white, "Hi, come for dinner, 6:30 next Tuesday." And then you can serve dinner on your china that you bought. This is a Moussier pattern right here. You notice it says, "Ne touchez pas." I mean, don't touch. I'll come touch for you. But the pattern here is called Savane. It is Zoe de Givenchy, and anyone who remembers Audrey Hepburn in the movies Charade and Breakfast at Tiffany's will remember that all of her clothes were always designed by Hubert de Givenchy. Zoe is his niece. So here you have the pattern. The dinner plates are made with the trees of the Savane, and in front of it are the animals. Now, obviously, the camel is not in the Savane, but he is an African animal, and the tiger is an Asian animal, but they're putting it all there. It's humorous and fun, has a lot of whimsy. Over here is vintage Porto. This is because we're doing an estate for someone. We're selling this beautiful vintage Porto along with our new Porto because that's what we are. We are the Porto store. So we do Porto linens and Porto vintage pieces. Up here is more writing paper and beautiful things made of paper. That usually comes to you from Italy. The Italians are masters with paper. So here, this is Tosatti, Grafici Tosatti, and this is a little teeny weeny photograph album. Isn't that nice? It has a picture of the page, and it's done with really pretty writing. And you can have a large box of writing paper, photographs. You can have a pencil or pen tray. You can have erasers. You can have fun notebooks. You can do all kind of fun things. You can have boxes to keep your papers in. You can have more writing paper. You have a dog, that's who you want. There's your dog. You can have more, anything you can think of, we like to say that we can do. And here, I love this. This is a great one. It's called Chic, it's very chic. And it is, she's very chic, but look who she has with her, a skunk. So we have writing paper, quick notes to say thank you for dinner last night. That was a lot of fun. A handwritten note really makes people remember you, and they should. We have glasses that you can do with your home on it. I think you pretty much get the idea here that we are capable of making anything to match your house or to match your imaginary house. Or maybe you say, well, I want it, but I don't want that. I want it to be blue. Again, this is the place you come when you have an idea that you want to be in a special color, because that's what we do. We have fun things like little pads to keep on your desk so you can write a note to yourself. I have to write a note to myself all the time because I forget everything. We have these wonderful little books that you can keep in your wallet to write your notes that you forgot when you were out. People say, oh, well, you can put it in your phone. Yes, you can. But then I forget that I have it in my phone. I like the little book because I remember it. These are little notes. They're called little notes. And they are fun because you put them inside a little pocket that you keep inside your pocketbook. So if you go somewhere and the person's not there, you can have their little note that says hello, right? I was here to see you. Kisses and hugs, Leta. I have a very lucky life in that I have a business that I started 52 years ago as Leta Austin Foster and Associates. I'm an interior decorator and have been for that entire time. And then my daughters came in to work with me, so we are renaming our company Leta Austin Foster and Daughters. They were actually working there before. Sally Giordano, who's one of the people in our office, runs our New York office and works here in Palm Beach too. And India Foster, who is also one of the designers, has her own company in addition to working here. Her company is called Shizen, S-H-I-Z-E-N Studio, and it makes furniture that is not only not unkind to the environment, but is good for the environment. It's made from recycled wood and recycled metal, beautiful, very contemporary designs. That might seem strange to you since you're looking at me sitting here in a very traditional room, but all three of us are very happy in all forms of design. We somewhat encompass every form of decor and plan to continue to do that. This is our children's department. The reason we started the children's department is so many of the great linen houses of Europe make children's clothes. So it just sort of came about by accident, but this part of the shop grew like Topsy, and now we have specially made things for our clientele. For instance, this is a little dress that I designed, and we sell this in various colors. I could show you this, like this. It's the same dress, but just made in various fabrics and with changing the embroidery. So that's one of the things, we make that dress for people. We had one man who ordered 7 of them exactly alike because he wanted his children to look exactly alike. We have a wonderful company from America, from South Carolina, that makes these beautiful, very soft knit baby clothes that I will show you in a drawer here in the room. For instance, when you have to give a little baby present. This is so nice. We sell, one of our favorite things is we sell toys. We sell the Porto toys, Porto bunnies, Porto bears. We sell stuffed animals. That's one of our favorites. What does home mean to me? Well, I have just been, after work, swimming for an hour. I'm a big believer in exercise, and so I jog in water for an hour before I go home. And then when I get home, I like to lie down for 15 or 20 minutes and then get up and fix a nice dinner for my husband and me. We both are, I would call us quasi-vegetarians. I'm actually a carnivore. I love meat, but the doctor has removed a lot of meat from my diet. So we're eating in a basically vegetarian way. The good news about that is very easy to fix dinner. But I do like to cook, and I do like to make sure my husband eats healthily because we both want to go to 100. I had such a nice time showing you my shop, and now it's time to say goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.